To have a better understanding of CPU memory, we need to have a basic understanding of memory types in general. The first memory type that's used in many computers and electronic devices is RAM. RAM stands for Random Access Memory. Why is it called that? To answer that question, let's take a look at some common data storage media, such as CDs, DVDs, or earlier types, such as audio tapes. With these methods, reading and writing data can only be done in a predetermined order. This means that with these types of data storage media, the time to access saved information varies significantly depending on its physical location within the storage media. This is not the case with RAM. In random access memory, the stored data is accessible in very nearly the same amount of time for any storage location. In other words, the saved data can be accessed quickly in any random order, so you don't have to wait to access a specific stored file, hence the name, Random Access Memory. You use RAM every time you use a computer. For example, when you're going to open a Microsoft Word document on your computer, before opening it, the file is located on the hard disk. But when you open it, the file is sent from hard disk to the computer RAM. Then, when you're done with the file, you send the edited file back to the hard disk again by saving it. The main thing that sets RAM apart or differentiates it from the memory on your hard disk is that RAM is a temporary type of memory. Let's say you're working on that Word document, and then the electricity is suddenly cut off, and you haven't saved the file. In this situation, all hard work and editing that you just did is gone. Why? Because the file is stored in the RAM while you're working on it, and since RAM is a temporary type of memory, cutting off the electricity caused the RAM to reset and clear its memory of any unsaved data. So, accessing data on RAM is fast because it isn't affected by data location, but all data is gone if there's any interruption in the power supply because it's temporarily used for viewing and updating files. ROM stands for Read-Only Memory. When files are stored in ROM memory, the stored data is readable but cannot be modified. Unlike RAM, ROM is a non-volatile memory. It stores files in a solid and stable format that is always stored in the same location and available. This means it retains its data in memory, regardless as to whether there's an interruption in the power supply. EEPROM, or Erasable Programmable Read-Only Memory, is another non-volatile memory that works the same as ROM. Where we can only read files stored in ROM, EEPROM allows us to edit, erase, and store new changes. Of course, to erase an EEPROM, it should be exposed to an ultraviolet light, which can be a little bit time-consuming and can be done with difficulty. EEPROM, or Electrically Erasable Programmable Read-Only Memory, is also a type of non-volatile memory, similar to EEPROM, but the difference is that this kind of memory can be erased electrically instead of with ultraviolet light. This type of memory has a limited life, meaning that the number of times that it can be erased and reused is limited to tens or hundreds of thousands of times. Flash EEPROM is a further development of EEPROM. This type of memory is much faster and can store more data for a longer amount of time and be reused more than standard EEPROM.